Hey guys, Rachele here with Amethyst Ascension. If you are new here, welcome. And if you are returning, thank you so much for joining me again. So today, I'm going to be talking about what is going to be coming in April. So, the lady that was supposed to do the April work, she contacted me about a week ago, and she is unable to do it just because of just taking on too much. She's just got too much going on in her life. So I'm grateful that I got at least 2 weeks notice, right? So that's still, with as much that I have going on, is still not a whole lot of time for me to really plan something good that I would want to plan. But as with all things, being in a frequency of abundance and prosperity is also seizing an opportunity when it comes along. So, one of the things that I was planning on doing anyways, was a video on starting to clear some of my space in here. And I mean, for the most part, my room stays pretty clean. It gets dusty and stuff like that, but I mean, I am a pretty organized lady. Now, it looks like it's chaos, but it really is just like a cluttered, witchy, beautiful chaos, if you know what I mean. I love being surrounded by all of my witchy tools and books and just goodness, right? Just goodness. But I have been feeling a bit overwhelmed by the amount of decks that I have. So, which I'm going to show you right quick. And my stuff is dusty. I also need to dust. But that's what April is going to be about. April is going to be about, let me just tell you right quickly, it's going to be about spring cleaning, right? Getting rid of the old, or pruning away the old in order to make room for growth, right? So it kind of fits into the whole prosperity, that kind of an abundance work that was not also taken care of because it was a last minute kind of thing, even into the month kind of thing, that I found out that person couldn't do it. So, which was not ideal. But I'm just showing you everything that I've got to start cleaning. And yeah, let me show you. Let me get over here. Sorry. So that's full. That. And this is like bags and cloths and all different kinds of stuff down there for storage. So, this is all dusty. Yeah. I've just got to definitely clean. It's funny that it's like flickering on camera because it's not flickering for me at all. That's weird. For my eyes, that is. But this is my space. So let me get over to the desk where I can actually look at my paper, and I will talk to you about what's coming. I did want to show you that I have like decks down there. So decks here, decks all in here, decks down there. I have decks there, decks there. I got a deck there. I got these in, but I'm going to soap them because, I mean, they're beautiful, but they're hard to work with because they're so like shag carpet, rose petal. I've got all those decks. Those decks there. So yeah. All right, let me get over to the other spot. While I'm talking about this, I'm just going to do a walkthrough of the day version of, what is this even called? Rosewood Tarot. It is really beautiful. But like I said, and those are the bags. I definitely like the day version much better than the night version. That's the gilding that it came with. This is just literally such a stunning deck. But it is such thick rose petal that it's hard to work with. It's hard to shuffle without it being sticky. Maybe that's a matter of using it, but I think I'm going to soap it. So I have the stuff in order to soap it over there. But that's kind of part of everything that I'm going to be doing in April. So, because I feel like what we're going to be doing is also very much associated with prosperity, creating prosperity and abundance in your life. So I've just got a rough draft. I was going to just make a video of it, but I'm going to expand it out and create some spreads also. So, spring cleaning. More importantly, spring cleaning our tarot decks and our like witchy tools and all that, right? So it's a fresh start for your practice. So it can be very symbolic of renewal and, I mean, the things that we use our tarot for sometimes can be really heavy. We're coming out of months where first we did past life work. So then we get into October and we were doing ancestry work. And then we get into November, December, and through January. And we were doing all the seasons of the witch stuff. And on top of the end of the year stuff, the beginning of the year stuff, Thanksgiving, Christmas, Yule, all of those things mixed in with that. And the seasons of the witch work was intense. I mean, it's a combination of doing a bunch of witchy practices as well as a lot of shadow work. I mean, a lot of shadow work. So it was an intense journey. It was a beautiful journey, but it was intense. And then we get into February and we're thinking, well, February comes and it's going to be all about self-love, baby. And after all that, we need self-love. But man, there is so much shadow work in self-love too. For some people, even more shadow work than others because they have never really experienced self-love, you know, because of the stigma that's put on it, you know. I don't really want to go into so much detail on that, but it can be looked at like somebody is selfish or greedy or whatever when they're actually just having love for themselves and caring about their own preservation, right? So it's all been heavy. It has all been heavy. And then actually not being able to do in March the prosperity and abundance work, although I have seen quite a few people still doing it, and I love that. I love that. I myself, I just worked on decks. I worked on other things, and it is really proven to be very prosperous for me as well, because it gave me the time that I needed to be able to work on those things, right? So, but my point in all of that is that over this last year or last 6-8 months, all the work that we've done, we've got a lot of heavy energy that has been in our places, not just on our decks, but in our surroundings, right? So it is time with the spring, just like how sometimes we prune stuff in the spring and sometimes we prune things back in the fall in order to make room for new growth. It sounds funny, doesn't it? But it's the truth. In order to be able to be in a place where we can accept that growth, we need to get rid of those things that are just not serving us, right? So even when I talked about doing like self-love work that I've been doing for years. I mean, probably many of you have been doing. Because that definitely comes into play with like shadow work and having a good healthy tarot practice and all that. But if you're going to start with self-love, the first thing that you need to do is to really get rid of all of the negative conditioning that we've had around whether or not it's really being self-love or being selfish. You know, you got to get rid of all of that stuff that we've been programmed to believe that is bad for us. So the same goes for now. In order for us to have that growth, all the energy buildup that we've had over the last little bit of time, and with everything that's going on in the world, it's been a whole lot of division, right? So it's time to clean house. It is time to dust off all of our shelves. It is time to clean all of our crystals and start charging our crystals again in the sun that's coming back and the spring. It's time to hear the birds, you know, just overhead, just chirping. More so, it's really a time of reawakening. So, and this is not in order. I apologize. I thought it was, but apparently it's not. So I really want to emphasize how cleaning your decks can help you to reconnect with your cards on a deeper level. So then we're going to be talking about going through and decluttering and organizing our tarot collections. Now, I know you just seen my decks and my shelves, and they look really, really probably more organized than a lot of people, and that is probably true, but it's feeling chaotic for me. So for me, I really need to go through and start decluttering, and that means shelf by shelf. But before I do that, because I was talking with my sister about this, before I do that, I really want to take stock of what I have, right? So I'm going to go through and I'm going to make a simple list of what decks I have. Simple. As many decks as I have, it's going to take me a while. So that's going to be the first part of what I'm doing, is taking stock of what I have. Then I'm going to go through, even if I have to do it like shelf by shelf, right? Then I'm going to go through and decide what is maybe going in a timeout box or tote. You know, in my case, it might be a whole tote worth of them. Who knows? Which ones I absolutely just love and I want to work with them, and I haven't given them the time. Just really prioritizing my decks, right? Instead of going shopping for more decks, that's why I mean it's so difficult to grab these. Instead of going shopping for more decks, it's about taking stock of what I have, being grateful for what I have, and then trimming what needs to go so that it makes room for, because I'm not saying that I don't want to get more decks. I always want to get more decks. I love not just supporting other creators and stuff like that, which I love doing, but I love the artwork, right? I like using especially Oracle because, don't get me wrong, I love tarot. I absolutely love tarot. And I probably have more tarot than I have Oracle, but bringing in new things, it's usually Oracle that I see I can use like a different system, something that I maybe haven't, or that I see value in it for my practice, or even a future practice, or something that I didn't think that I was going to use, and then maybe I see it and it inspires me to work with it in a certain way that I've never done in my practice before. You know, that's all part of the growth. So I'm definitely going to be decluttering. And with saying that, I've had people ask, well, you know, when you're decluttering, what do you do with like all of the decks that you're getting rid of? Do you sell them? Do you give them away? What do you do? So for at least the month of April, I am also in my group every Thursday, and I'm doing it on Thursday for a certain reason. Every Thursday, I'm going to put in, just like I do the Wednesday Share Your Wares, I'm going to do a Thursday tarot trade. So that will be underneath of the particular a particular post, and then you can do it through that. Now, I'm not going to be responsible for any trades that don't go well. I mean, we're all adults here, and, you know, just be discerning of who you're doing a trade with, okay? Make sure that you're happy with that trade. And my suggestion would be to send videos to each other showing the shuffle, the card stock, just everything, right? Especially if you're doing like an indie deck trade. So that's just my suggestion. And maybe find somebody that's local in your area that's trading, because then less cost and stuff like that. But we're all adults here. So if you're in that group, you're an adult, and you know, the group is not going to be responsible for the trade, but I'm just giving another place every Thursday for if people want to do trades. And the reason why I want to do it on Thursdays, because Thursday is like the day of abundance. It's Jupiter Day. Jupiter is the most expansive and auspicious planet of them all. That's the luckiest one. So that's when I do my prosperity work, is every Thursday. So we're going to put ourselves also into the frequency of expansion and growth and gratitude by also doing an exchange. If you want to do an exchange, you do not have to do an exchange. It's just going to be something that's available for you. And if I find that it's something that everybody wants to keep in the group, then it's something that I will keep in the group for every Thursday. And you can just do it that way. But it's always, you know, traders beware kind of thing. So I'm going to come up with some sort of method that I do in order to like keep, I'm not going to toss. Because even if I don't use a deck and I don't see any reason for keeping it like that, if I can't find somebody that wants it, that you can give away or donate it, then I would just use them for bookmarks. I mean, beautiful bookmarks, or you can use them in a beautiful, you know, like if you're working on a journal or something like that, use it in a journal or whatever. There's always ways that you can use them. So if you got it for a reason at some point. So utilize it. Even if you're collaging like your tabletop with them, go for it, right? But we're going to focus on really doing that, what kind of system works. And any kind of emotional attachment that we have with the deck, whether or not we're actually utilizing it, and whether or not that's important to you and with your collection and your practice. So we're going to focus on or share what we have found are great storage. So I will go through and probably just make a short video showing how I actually have various little areas where I do storage. So whether or not I have them in a bag, whether or not I have them in a homemade box, whether or not I keep them boxed, what I put by what, why I do it that way. It's just the whole system. And I would love it if other people share that stuff as well. I don't think I'm going to make it really tarot heavy this time. Other than maybe one of the processes that I would maybe do once you get to, like, if you have a deck that you maybe want to keep, but you're kind of on the fence, doing a special like interview spread. And I'm probably going to come up with like a maybe even the basic one, because that will still tell you, but you might have done that already. Maybe do a little bit of a modification to that original interview deck about, you know, why should I keep you? Like really interrogate your tarot deck, you know? So we'll see. And and whether or not you can categorize or label. And it might be easier if you have some sort of system of organization. Now, I do have a journal that I have created that you can do for that. But if I'm being honest, I haven't even done that. It might just be easier for me to sit down and do a shelf at a time, write it down, and do it. Who knows? It might be different. Maybe you have a system that you could share with other people that would help. So that's what that's going to be about. And then once we get all that done, the ones that we're keeping, then let's go through and let's cleanse our decks personally. And we're going to talk about the different ways that we can cleanse our decks and our tools, whether it's through music, through vibration, like the forks, the tuning forks, whether or not you have singing bowls, whether or not you use drumming. Maybe you want to do all those and create like a ritual once you've gone through and cleansed everything, right? We are just making space for growth and abundance while cleaning house, right? And where it's the most important, which is our tarot decks and our witchy tools, okay? Whether you want to use like smoke to cleanse it, whether you want to use your crystals to cleanse it, maybe you want to use your own Reiki energy to clear it. And then what do you do with your space? The last thing that we're going to talk about is space, which is one of the most important things to me because I've said it many times. When I am down here, I don't even have to like lay out stuff. I don't have to like get candles ready. I don't have to, and I know not everybody has that luxury, but I have created this space for me so that like as soon as I walk down these stairs, every time, you guys, I am not even joking. And maybe it's because I have not had this my whole life. I have not. I've had this room the way that I want it now for a few years, right? And I'm 54. So I think I'm doing pretty good. And not everybody what they think of as their witchy room or their tarot space or whatever. Not everybody desires the same thing. But I'm telling you, when I walk down those stairs every single time and I come into this room, it's like whatever, like the weight of the world just comes off my shoulders. I'm not even kidding. It makes me want to cry. I got goosebumps because I have created this sacred space for myself. Well, my husband and I have created this sacred space for me. He was a huge part of that for me. But you know, we talk about vision boards and we talk about like feng shui and we talk about all those things that also have to do with prosperity and abundance. Well, I had back in the day, because I've wanted my own witchy shop and or crystal shop and or metaphysical shop for many, many years. So when I say I would do vision boarding, I mean, I would make like rough drafts of what the layout of the store would look like, what kind of furniture. I went shopping for furniture, you know, all imaginary, doing like, I mean, not like actually planning the store as in I had the money to plan the store. I mean, just creating that vision, digital. I actually had like a website that was like a blog that showed all of the different stuff that I wanted, down to the furniture, down to whether it's 3-tier tables, what the layout would look like a floor plan, like as an architectural floor plan. And look at what I created. Even though I have not had the ability to actually create my own store, I can't tell you how many times I've had people say, your place looks like walking into a store. I manifested that. Maybe it didn't manifest in the way that I had desired, or at least I thought I desired, but oh my gosh, to actually have a space like this, it has literally been a dream come true. And my husband and I, and it's been an ongoing thing, okay? Like my husband and I, we were talking, I'm sorry if this is going to be a little bit longer, but my husband and I were talking and he found some lighting because I'm trying to figure out some sort of lighting for my apothecary because I love my apothecary, but I have to take like my phone with the flashlight on the back of it and go like this because it's kind of dark over in that area. And I kind of like my room with an ambiance, a little bit darker, right? So whenever I do like videos like this, I have to turn off my overhead lights because it creates glare on whatever I'm recording on, reflection, and that's not good for making videos. And making videos is part of who I am and what I do. So of course that's got to be part of what I have in my room. So as much as I love these lights, we're looking at getting some track lighting and replacing them so that I can focus the light in this area and this area so that I don't have to turn off my overhead lights. But so that I've got actual spotlighting that's going right to my apothecary and maybe over to the other side where I've got my bookshelf and I've got my books and like my little gothic bookshelf over there where my Ouija board and all that, my spirit board is. So that's just another thing that I'm planning to do eventually. We can't do it right now because of the money, but eventually. So that's all part of creating that tarot space. And if you don't have the space right now, it's about making the vision boards for that tarot space that you're looking for and finding creative ways in order to make it the best that you can until you can have exactly what you want. And who knows, you might just find that what you end up doing is what you needed, what you wanted anyways, right? So, and then the last bit of it is just about working with your tarot. Once it's all fresh and clean, it's like a refreshing, brand new start to your tarot practice and getting it ready for the months that are coming, because I'm just going to tell you right now, the next few months are going to be outstanding. I know for certain I know that June's is going to be really good. You guys are going to love it. May's is going to be phenomenal. I know you're going to love it. July's, I still have to make sure that the person that I talk to, if they're still on board, because life happens and, you know, if not, then we have other things set in place. And then August, I'm doing August again. And trust me, it's right up my alley. And then now I've got September's and October's planned also. And the people that are doing it, and oh my goodness, you guys are going to love it. I know you're going to love it. So that's what's going on. I have not made the digital planner yet, but that's going to be coming very, very soon. So be watching. It'll probably be in the first week when I release the first little bit of the cleaning and all that. It's going to be a basic, you add what you want, but I'm going to make it as beautiful as I possibly can and as springy and all that as I possibly can. I've already got things, working in this mind of mine. So I hope you're as excited as I am. Sometimes the things that we think are, putting a cog in the wheel kind of thing or a wrench in the wheel are actually huge opportunities for growth. And that's the way that I'm looking at the people backing out of March and April. I'm looking at it as a huge opportunity for something different, right? So thank you for spending this time with me, and I am sending you love.